Being joined on radio on the Go Sports by Deck and Hartford volleyball coach Diane Harms. A 3-set sweep over AP here on senior night. Coach, what can you say about tonight's win, how you're able to really dominate, especially in that third set?
You know, the girls came in. The first set was very, very close. We had a couple-point lead. AP tied it up at 20-20. And then our girls, we really put together 5 solid balls in a row, to finish that first set out. And I think that just kind of set the tempo and momentum for the next 2 sets going. Our blockers started to come alive as the match went on, and that's always important, too.
Mm-hmm. And each set throughout the night, your team won by wider and wider margins. How were you guys able to adjust and ultimately, win by quite a ways, 25-14 in that last one?
Well, we really did stick with our game plan where we wanted to try to be attacking when we were swinging, and where we wanted to be serving, and we just were getting a little bit more effective with it as the night wore on. Early we were missing some balls a little wide or deep, and then we found the spot we wanted as the night went on.
Mm-hmm. A lot of players certainly had big nights, but a couple come to mind. Keely Cowton, Riley Reichs, each had a heck of a night offensively. Lots of big swings from them. What can you say about those two tonight?
Anytime you can get your middles going, it usually works out in your favor because it just makes it harder for the other team when they have to honor your middle attack. They can't release to the outside as quickly. They're both phenomenal players, and they did a great job for us tonight.
Mm-hmm. Who else played well from your perspective? Who else you want to kind of shout out for their efforts tonight?
They all had their moments. I thought Ruby Varney kept a ton of balls alive for us, very scrappy back there. Kayla Meester does a great job for us running our offense, distributing the ball. So I thought they all had really good nights for us.
Mm-hmm. Senior night's always, special. What can you say about this class and their impact here this year?
Every group that goes through, it's kind of bittersweet that you had them for, we start with them in 4th, 5th grade. We've had them for a long time. As senior night approaches, that means that much less time we're going to have. But they've been tremendous leaders for us. They contribute on the court, off the court leadership. They're just great people, and we're definitely going to miss them.
Mm-hmm. Any initial thoughts on that big conference tournament coming up next week? Always great when the entire league gets together for that big tourney.
It's going to be a battle. It should be a lot of fun. It should be definitely a lot of fun. We have so much competition in the NICL, so we'll just see who comes out on top.
Mm-hmm. Between now and then, you got a week off. Not too often you have that. What kind of comes to mind as far as some big objectives for your team throughout the next week of practice?
Just focusing on a lot of little things. There's a few little things here and there we saw tonight, so we'll come in and work on those. Maybe give our hitters a little bit of a rest. We played a lot Saturday, a lot of competitive matches. Maybe give their legs a little rest and focus on something else rather than so much jumping, and just try to work on fine-tuning a few things so that we're ready to go next Tuesday.
All right, Coach, thanks for the time and congrats on the win.
All right, thank you.